everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing very well. I have come to you today with a very exciting video. Now, a few weeks ago, I was approached by Castrol to attend the British Grand Prix, the MotoGP race at Silverstone with Team Castrol Honda LCR. And it wasn't just any regular MotoGP weekend, it was actually the celebration of the 75th anniversary. So all the teams had special liveries for the race day on Sunday, and whilst the team already have a traditional inspired livery for the entire season, Sunday's livery was my favourite. I might be biased, but it was, and it is a definite fan favourite as well. So hopefully you'll be able to see it in some of the clips that I share, but I'll pop it on screen now in case you didn't catch it. And I also, alongside the 75th anniversary celebrations, had the amazing opportunity to chat with team founder, principal, and ex-MotoGP rider himself, Lucio Cecchinello. And I thought, what's going to be most insightful for you guys who might not necessarily be big MotoGP fans yourselves? There are some definite parallels between Formula One and MotoGP that I found really interesting, but I asked him all sorts about the safety, the aerodynamics, driver fitness, etc. So I hope you enjoy this wonderful interview with Lucio, and yeah, I will speak to you all very soon. So I am here in the MotoGP paddock at Silverstone with a very exciting guest. Would you like to introduce yourself to my audience who might not?
In reality, the MotoGP bike start normally with an external electric powered engine that turn on the crankshaft of the bike, and then so basically is an external power unit.
Sure. And in terms of the aerodynamics on the bike, is there parts that you are allowed to change and you aren't allowed to change, or is it completely free for you guys to decide how you want to alter the bike?
Normally, we are limited in terms of how many times during the year we change the aerodynamic shape and the aerodynamic item. I would say that the most important and effective aerodynamic area are the front cowl and the front surface. So basically, it affects very much the bike handling and the top speed of the bike.
Okay. Does any part of the suit, the race suit, the leathers, any of those change to make it more aerodynamic?
Yes. This is something interesting that I think that you have noticed that many riders has a kind of what we call back protection, but this back protection has a double function. Is normally is a back protection, but as well it play a very important role on aerodynamic because it connects the shape of the helmet with the shape of the rider back. So in this area, definitely is very, very important to improve the aerodynamic efficiency.
Yeah, interesting. And I didn't realize, this is my first MotoGP weekend, that they change position on the bike so much. So obviously the shape of their body must impact the aerodynamics as well, depending on how they move, especially around corners.
Around corners, also in braking area. If you see, many riders open the leg on the braking area, and then I can say that opening the leg, it creates a kind of a parachute effect, increase the drag, and actually it helps to reduce the speed quicker.
Interesting. So I thought that when they stuck their leg out that it was for stability and not necessarily to slow them down and make sure that they're going the right speed for that corner. Speaking of the suits and speaking of the riders themselves, what safety features are there incorporated into the suit to make sure that they're protected if they have an accident or if they come off the bike?
All motorcycle riders has what we call an airbag incorporated. So there is a pressurized bottle that inflates some very, very specific areas like around the shoulder, around the neck, in the back, and it inflating very, very quick, instantly and suddenly as soon some electric captor like inertial platform that understand that the rider is having a sudden movement and crash impact to the ground, and then immediately inflate.
Switches on.
And this is a very, very interesting safety topic.
Yeah.
In the bike, we have developed what we call traction control.
Okay.
So means that whenever the bike is very much lean and the rider open the throttle and ask a lot of power, and then in the same instant that the rear tire have the tendency to slide because there is not enough grip, immediately the electronic understand that the tire is sliding and reduce the torque automatically and avoid what we call high side or crash suddenly without any possibility to control. Electronically, this is something that allow the rider to be faster and safer.
Yeah, because you often see the tires sometimes lift as well, the back tire sometimes when they're braking as well.
Correct.
Yeah, scary.
That's actually very fun, very fun. It's
like they're flying.
Yes.
Speaking of the tires, so am I right in thinking that they have different tire compounds on the front and the back? Yeah. Or do you usually keep it the same, or does it change depending on the track?
Of course, front and rear tire have different compound because the rear tire provide what we call the motricity. So it have the tendency to hit more compared to the front. So the rear tire actually is all the time more stronger and bigger.
Yeah.
While the front tire is thinner and softer because the front tire need to hold, of course, deceleration. Yeah. But let's say that the major stress on the tire is on the rear. That's why the compound of the rear tire is always, not always, but most of the time harder than the front tire compound.
Yeah. And when it's raining, I saw some videos of previous races when riders hop off one bike and get onto another bike with wet tires on. So is that very common when it starts to rain on track?
Absolutely. Basically, we could do like in Formula One,
like a pit stop
and change the tire. But to change a tire on a motorcycle, it's a little bit more complicated and difficult, and it implies also kind of possible easy mistake from the technical crew that would compromise the safety. So to keep the safety on a highest level ever, we decide that we are not going to change the tire, but we change the bike.
So is that why the second bike is always set up in case they crash or in case it's raining? Is it just ready there for them to hop on straight away?
Absolutely. Yeah. And thanks God we have the second bike, because or else many times our rider wouldn't have made finish the race. or the practice.
Yeah. It's so interesting that you have a whole separate bike. And is that something that comes within obviously every team have the second bike? Is that a big impact on cost, having to have two bikes ready? Same settings, I imagine?
I must say that, yes, there's a big impact on cost to have two bikes. But definitely it's allowing us to be more efficient. Yeah. And also to speed up the technical setup of the bike for the race, which doesn't mean necessarily only performance, but also means safety. Yeah. So what we want is to enjoy our sport, to see racing battles, but always on the top respect of the rider's safety. Yeah.
And do you use tire blankets?
Yes.
Yes. And do you use them before a race, before qualifying? And how do they come into, I guess, the weekend?
When the tires are tired, we put a blanket on to let them sleep. No, in reality, what we call is a tire warmer. Yeah. Tire warmer. And this tire warmer is providing the tire warmer temperature. Yeah. Because, of course, as we know, the rubber, as soon reach a temperature between 80 and 100 degrees, can definitely provide a better grip. Yeah. As soon the rider exit from the very first lap or else we would need to bring the tire at the exercise temperature and would take like 2 laps. So everybody are using tire warmer, and even tire warmer in this situation are exactly providing better safety for the rider, because the rider have already the maximum grip instantly from the very first corner.
And what would you say are the optimum conditions in terms of climate, wind, temperature? Is there like a specific that you think the bike performs best at?
I would say any sunny condition from 18 up to 30 degrees.
Wow, that's quite a big window.
Yeah, it's a quite big window.
Yeah.
Possibly without wind.
Yeah.
If we want to think about the best climate for the rider, I think, yes, any temperature between 20, 25,
Yeah.
not more, because the rider,
Very hot.
is getting very hot inside of the leather suit, and then sweat a lot and lose a lot of
They come a bit
couple of
dehydrated
kilos,
as well.
couple of kilos because of the dehydration.
It's quite scary, isn't it, when it becomes too hot and they're all in their leathers, that it can overheat, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is physical fitness quite a big part of being a rider? Is that quite important for your team, making sure that they stay on top of training and things like that to make sure that they're able to perform at their best?
Yes, absolutely. The physical strength is very, very important. Physical strength nowadays play a very, very important role on rider performance, because the bike became more powerful, more heavy, because we had many items on the bike, and especially also because of the downforce generated by the aerodynamic.
Yeah.
It creating more stability, but as well the stability is, let's say, is enhanced, but the bike have the more heavy effect to move around and to lean from one side to the other side to handle the bike is heavier, because you have a lot of drag that push the bike onto the ground. In this situation, the rider need to be very fit in order to maintain the maximum physical performance for the longer distance. And I must say that compare many years ago, 2 decades ago, now the rider, every couple of years, the rider become more and more really top athletes.
Yeah.
And they are obliged to train every day for more hours.
Yeah. So it's a lot of physical strength needed.
Absolutely.
I imagine your core as well must hurt after a long race, having to weave side to side. It's like doing crunches every time you go on the bend.
Yeah. You should try. One time you should try in the back. Sit in the back. We can prepare a double, two-seater bike for you. Yeah, but it would be nice. Then maybe you can have a live...
and maybe a little camera, a GoPro to film me screaming.
Yeah. Would be nice.
Yeah, it would be good fun.
Maybe you will need a night dresser after, because they...
Yeah. Well, hopefully I'd have a helmet on, so it wouldn't be too bad. Well, one last question. For any MotoGP fans or non-MotoGP fans, what is something that you think they might not know about the series, about the sport?
Many fans doesn't know how we carry on all our how we transport all our facilities. So many people think that we transport all our stuff, of course, inside of the race trailer, a wonderful race trailer, but as well they think that we put our race trailer on a cargo plane. And in reality, it's not like that. We transport all our bike spare parts and material on a small container that go in a cargo plane. We do not transport our hospitality and our trailers, our trucks, but we eventually rent once we are on the site.
So does any of it travel by sea as well? Or?
Yes. This is a very, very good question. Yes, some material travel by sea, like consumable material, like some other item, like fuel, tire, go by sea. But normally, the majority of the item are transported by cargo plane because we need to move around the world very quick, very fast. Because imagine that, for example, now we are here in UK in September. After the races in Misano, we are going to be in Thailand, in Indonesia, in Australia, in Japan, in Malaysia.
A lot of travel.
And it's a lot of travel. And then we will have 6 races in 7 weeks. We cannot transport a lot of stuff on via sea because
Too slow.
Too slow.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, best of luck for the rest of the weekend. And thank you so much for chatting. It was so interesting
Thank you so much.
hearing about the small details that people might not know about. So hopefully this has encouraged more people to watch and support the team. And
Yes.
thank you.
Enjoy MotoGP.